So guys, it's showtime.
You know, some pudding, applesauce. Not much of it, but
constipation or diarrhea?
a little bit constipation.
Any nausea or vomiting?
No vomiting. Sometimes I get nausea. Not much, but sometimes.
And what's your pain level right now?
Right now, right now it's about a 3, 4.
Is it just your mouth or throat? Or?
Right now it's my mouth, my neck, throat, and my stomach. Not bad, is it? Blood pressure's not bad, is it?
130/82.
I took a blood pressure pill this morning too. Yeah. I can eat, but you know it's hard right now where I just have my teeth full.
Right. So do you use anything in your peg, or are you just flushing it right now?
Flushing it.
Okay.
The doctor, he advised that to go ahead and get it now just in case.
Right. Right. It's always better to be ahead of the game.
He says like an 80-20 ratio. 20 don't need it, 80 does. So.
Alright, let me get your temperature. I'm gonna let you do it just so I don't hurt you.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Sorry.
Gotta find that right spot.
Alright, the doctors will be in to see you in just a moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a moment.
This is the vlog.
It's okay. What's for, ain't it? Yeah, honey, but you better get what you're gonna get, cause I ain't gonna hold it too long.
It's recorded.
That's all y'all get. This is the visit to the radiation. Radiologist or something like that. What's on the feed then?
He's got a feeling too. We gotta catch y'all up on a lot of things. Which I will. It's just a little. A piece of tape from us. Alright, so we'll be back when the doctor gets here.
So you have a cancer right here on the tonsil. Okay. And there's this spot on the left neck that we're actually not sure what it is because we haven't actually, you know, no one's gone in and actually gotten a piece of it or taken a biopsy or anything like that. But what we suspect is that it's a lymph node where the cancer that started here has spread to.
Yes, he did tell me that in the when Jay was in surgery and they came out, he did.
Yeah, so that's what we suspect. But what's good is that this is actually this is not a cancer that is caused by tobacco. Now, do you smoke?
I used to
Okay. When did you quit?
about a month ago.
Okay. Just because this wasn't caused by tobacco doesn't mean that you can't get another cancer that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you need to stay quit. Especially if you have been smoking and you've already had a cancer, your chances of getting one that is related to tobacco is higher. And so if you keep smoking, I can guarantee you that you will get another cancer.
Yeah,
But-
I'm done, yeah.
But this one looks like it's not related to smoking. And those that are not related to smoking tend to have a little bit more favorable prognosis, okay, which is good. We're dealing with a relatively favorable type of tumor. He's right, there are two ways that we can treat this. One is with surgery, with the robotic surgery, and then we kind of decide what kinds of treatments you need based on the results of the surgery after that. So it could be that you get surgery followed by chemotherapy and radiation. Or we can do the chemotherapy and radiation by itself and avoid the surgery.
Yeah, he said something about,
It means that it's not caused by smoking and it's relatively favorable.
he said that if you have the surgery, so you're probably looking at 6 weeks radiation.
Mm-hmm.
If not, 7.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, if I just got to do an extra week, I'm personally, he says it's a major surgery. Is it? I mean,
It's a big surgery.
So, I mean.
So, you know, we're kind of starting down the path of doing the chemotherapy and radiation, and they're done at the same time. The radiation is Monday through Friday, every day for 7 weeks, 35 treatments. Okay. The chemotherapy is either going to be once a week or once every 3 weeks. And depending on who you see, whether it's Dr. Arnold or Dr. Finn, you'll probably see one of them, I just don't know which one. They'll be the one to make that decision.
Like how many chemos are you thinking maybe?
Well, it depends on if they do once a week or once every 3 weeks. If they do once a week, they usually try to do 7. If they do once every 3 weeks, they do 3. And then sometimes people can only handle 2, but they try to do 3. Okay. The once every 3 weeks is obviously a much larger dose of chemo to make up for the fact that you're not doing it every week. So, you know, the chances of controlling this tumor are pretty good. But the way that we have to do this can be pretty tough, as in the radiation can actually, they can be pretty tough treatments because of where we're treating, which is going to be in the neck as well as in this area. Okay, and you can imagine kind of the side effects that happen from that area. So you can get some blisters on the skin, and you can get those same blisters on the inside. They can happen in the mouth, or they can happen in the food pipe. So that's why you have the tube, because eventually it may get to a point where it's difficult to swallow. And you may be relying on the tube 100%. Now that's temporary. That's the goal, is that this is temporary. Obviously, if you end up relying on the tube 100%, there's no guarantee that it will be temporary, but by a year after you finish the treatment, about 90% of people have the tube out. By 6 months after you finish the treatment, about half of people have it out. Okay. So the goal is that that is temporary. But these can be...
Some people don't even use it, right?
Some people don't need the tube, but a lot of people need the tube.
Yeah. That's what probably 8% use it.
So the next step is going to be a planning session, okay, which is just like a CAT scan, just like you've had before, but it's one that's linked to all of our treatment machines. Okay, we do our radiation planning and all of our calculations based on that CAT scan. Okay, in order to help make sure that the radiation is being delivered effectively and in the right areas, we have to make a mask. Okay, so it's a plastic mesh. Okay, so you can see through it, smell through it, hear through it, all that, but it does get strapped to the table because it makes sure that your head is in the same position every day. Okay. We'll probably try to give you some contrast through your IV as well to kind of help us delineate all of the areas that we need to treat. Okay. Once we take that CAT scan, it's about 7 to 10 days before we can get the calculations done and ready. Okay, so when we plan for the CAT scan, it'll be about a week, week and a half after that you would start the treatments. We try to start it the same day as the chemotherapy, or at least within a day or two of that. Okay, so we'll be coordinating with whoever your chemo doctor is to make sure that they're starting most of them, and then it kind of takes a few. But it's probably Arnold. She sees most of the head and neck cancers. And she's very good. So we'll be coordinating with her to make sure that they start at roughly the same time. Okay?
Okay. Now, I know he was saying he wanted this to heal up.
Yeah, so when your extractions were what, the 9th?
6th.
The 6th, okay, so, oh yeah, the 9th would have been Sunday. So that was 5 days ago.
Yeah, he got out on the 9th.
Yeah, I got
Okay, that was what I was thinking. Okay. The planning session doesn't have to wait. The planning session we can do, you know, the next spot that's open. But we need to wait for them to heal before we start the radiation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said it's best to, you know, have them pulled because some of them, they would decay and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and if we were to, any work that needs to be done, like taking them out, needed to be done before we start the radiation.
Oh,
Because if
yeah.
we waited until after, they'll never heal.
Let me ask you a question. Now, say I don't want the surgery first, you know, I don't want to do that, just do the chemo radiation. If for some reason that's not working too well, can I still do the surgery?
Well, it would depend on what wasn't working well. Now, the surgery for the neck, that can be done after. As far as the surgery on the tonsil, that I'm not sure. I'm just not a surgeon, so I don't know what their comfort level is in operating on these.
Okay, I need to ask about
But
that. Then.
yeah. So when are you next?
Friday.
Friday. Okay.
14th, I believe. Is that Friday the 14th?
Yeah. So you're seeing the chemo doctor on Thursday and then on
Is
Friday.
it 2:30?
Yeah, 1:30, I think. 1 or 1:30.
So we're looking
Okay.
at about, you said about, well, he's looking at about 7 weeks of
Radiation.
radiation.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on the chemo people, how much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's usually dosed once a week or once every 3 weeks. And in people who are relatively young and healthy, they usually try to do it every 3 weeks. So that's what I would expect. But I'm just not
So
going to
you
make that
can
call.
do less treatments, but more harder chemo.
Yeah.
So
More
I have a
chemo each
question.
time.
What side effects does he have to, you know? Is it a
So
lot
the
of
same
side
things we
effects?
talked about. You're going to get probably some blisters in the mouth, blisters on the skin.
Are these
Okay. up
like
in there.
long-term?
Long-term. So the long-term side effects, you know, in someone that's your age, the most pressing long-term side effect is that, you know, radiation can cause second cancers. And if it happens, it's always in the area that was treated. So that there is a possibility of you developing a second cancer somewhere in the head and neck. The reason why it's, you know, a stronger possibility for you than in a lot of patients is that there's always a delay. Okay, and so when it happens, it's almost a minimum of 10 years after the initial radiation, but can happen up to about 50 years after. Okay, so, you know, that's just something to be aware of, because if you were 60, then the chances of you developing a second cancer in your lifetime is pretty low. But, you know, you're not yet 40, so you have potentially another 50 years to realize that risk. So that's probably the most pressing risk. Now, it's not a big risk, but the fact is that you have a long lifespan in order to actualize that. Now, the more common side effects long term, you'll probably get a little bit of dyspigmentation on the neck, and it's different for different people. And some people you get kind of darker skin where we treat, and some people it actually kind of washes out and you get less darker skin. And you're going to get probably some scarring underneath the skin. Okay, and what that means is that you have a risk of lymphedema, which means that, you know, as we're treating the lymph nodes in the neck, it's a lot harder for all that lymph fluid to drain down back to the heart, and so you can get collections of fluid. Okay, now there's things that you will have to do in order to prevent that long term, but that is a risk, and it's something that you'll have to kind of take an active role in helping manage. The scarring underneath the skin, same thing. as it's I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. But basically, as you get the scarring underneath, you can kind of break through that scarring if you get it early. So it means that as we move forward, you're going to need to be doing some neck exercises, things like this, and we have a packet that we'll give you down the line.
I've been doing like the speech therapist.
Okay.
And some swallowing exercises.
Yeah. So keep those. There will be some other ones that kind of focus mostly on the neck and the tissues of the neck that you won't need to do until after we're done with treatment. But and again, that's something that is a possible side effect, and it's just something you have to take an active role in as far as preventing. But those are really the major long-term side effects. If you're swallowing relatively well, then I think that your chances of needing the tube forever is very low. Okay.
Like right now, if I'm falling very well, or during treatment.
I think if you're swallowing well at any point,
yeah, I swallow well.
Yeah, then I think your chances of needing the tube permanently is very low.
Okay.
Does that accident happen very often? Is it because of the pain that people need that long term?
The tube? Oh, the tube. It's people who don't swallow well and then get radiation and aren't able to work their swallowing back up to what it was with speech therapy. Are at risk for aspiration and getting stuff into the lungs, and then a lot of times they have to rely on the tube. But again, if you're swallowing relatively well now, it'll improve even by the time we start the treatment, and you'll continue to swallow through treatment until it becomes too painful. Which again, about 80% of people get to that point, but 20% of people don't. You'll continue to swallow through treatment, and then afterwards you'll get back to speech therapy.
Hopefully, I can just flushing this would be good. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to shooting for, but
Yeah.
like if you all get in there and see your scan, was it a possible less radiation? No,
No.
just what it is.
Will he have a lot of pain?
Most likely.
Years.
Not right now, like I said. I know sometimes I have it in my ear.
Any problem swallowing, eating, drinking, chewing?
No, it's just sore and hurts.
So, okay.
It hurts.
Have you lost weight?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much weight have you lost?
What about 20 pounds?
35.
35 pounds.
I used to weigh like 280,
Okay.
and then when I found out I had cancer, I went down to like 259.
Okay.
And then just after this surgery I just had, I've already lost like 5 pounds.
Alright, okay. So, how's your energy level?
Some days are better than others.
Okay. Okay. Can I quickly examine you?
Yeah.
Work now?
Mhm.
Where do you?
We'll do the same thing.
Same, so you're on the
Same
same.
business.
Yeah.
Do you have others that can help you out with your business, or
Yeah. His brother's helping us.
so easy in the same? Okay.
Yeah. They can help, but it's gonna be tough. From going to making decent money to nothing. That's why I was asking him about, temporary disability.
Yeah, we can work on that. We'll probably have the social services talk to you and try to get those things going for you.
Because
Yeah.
my work's already slowed down
Right.
tremendously, almost to nothing with
Yeah.
these appointments.
Because I don't see you going back to work and doing what you do for the next 4 to 6 months at least. So we'll look into that, and whatever letter of support you need from us, we'll be able to do it. As soon as I get done talking to you about your cancer, we'll have the psych-oncology group step in here and try and help you out and see what we can do for you and give you some direction about where we need to go with you. Okay. Can I quickly look inside your throat?
Yeah.
No, on Thursday, next
Yes.
for the chemo.
Yes.
Okay. Did Dr. Valentino talk to you about surgery, doing surgery on your tonsil?
He mentioned it. He
Okay.
said there are 2 different ways
Right.
you can go about it.
Right. So there are two things basically that can be done. You know, your tumor is too big. You know, it's fairly it's a big size tumor. You'll respond well to radiation and chemotherapy. The other thing is try and cut it out. If they have to try and cut it out, then they have to take it out. They have to dissect your neck, take the lymph nodes out from the neck, and after that, then decide whether you need chemotherapy or not. Radiation you need no matter what. So the issue is mainly deciding the chemotherapy. Now, that can also mean several things. A problem with swallowing, and need to put maybe a graft inside the throat. There's a good chance. Do you have a feeding tube?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. So that you would have had anyway. That would have been different. Is that working good?
I don't use it right now.
Yeah. Okay. We need to start flushing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do flush it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We flush it once or twice a day.
Right.
We do that.
Right. So that would have been the other thing. So the radiation will be about on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. The main problem is going to be soreness in your throat and difficulty in eating, drinking, chewing. So you had your teeth taken out, and that's why you had the tube put in there, and that's going to help you with your nutrition. And that also probably with the tube, it also means you cannot do any heavy weight lifting and things like that. So we'll probably have to figure that out into your disability issues. So the biggest thing is radiation. These are daily treatments, 7 weeks, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, half an hour every day to do the radiation. We have to make a mask for you. We're going to get some labs. Your labs are outdated, and then we'll get them done today. And then when you come back and see Dr. Honor, the chemo doctor, we'll probably go ahead and make the mask and do the radiation planning started that day. We have to protect your brain, your eyes, your brainstem, your spinal cord, and then you have to try and save your salivary gland. Now you have a big cyst on this side which looks like a lymph node, which probably has the cancer. So if you go in the neck and cut it out, it more likely than not it's going to show cancer. And then you have the tumor in the throat, which is right up here on your tonsil. It's right up here. So that's almost 3 or 4 centimeters, or maybe even bigger in size if you had to measure it. And so by virtue of your, it's P16 positive, right? By virtue of your stage, you're probably stage 1 or stage 2, and most these patients do well. So what are your chances of beating the cancer? Anywhere between 3 to 4 out of 5 at 5 years. So those are good odds for anybody. The treatment's going to be rough, but in the long run it's going to be worth it. Once you finish your scans, you'll repeat your CT scans, and the PET scan will be done at the 3-month mark. And then if everything comes back okay, we'll work on getting the tube out, getting your swallowing back, and work on a few things. You'll not lose your voice. The swallowing might be affected. You'll have some dryness in the mouth, which will get better with time. You might end up losing some weight during treatment. It all depends on how well you handle the chemo for the nausea. The chemo can be done in 2 ways, every 3 weeks or every week. Dr. Arnold will talk to you about that. But the radiation is more or less fairly standard.
Okay. Now, your opinion, would you do surgery?
I've done both. It all depends on what you think about chemotherapy. Now the chemotherapy that's used, the drug, can cause a lot of nausea. It can also cause your kidneys to shut down. There's a small chance of that happening. And if you look at how many people die, if you took 100 people like you and treated, and the mortality from that is about 2 or 3%. I mean, but again, those people that typically have a lot of problems with chemotherapy are the ones that are very sick, have bad hearts, bad lungs, or they have something else which complicates their situation. You don't have any of those. So if you can keep the nausea from the chemo down, I think you'll be able to handle the treatments fairly well. The problem with the surgery in the throat is that when we're looking at we've been doing that for the last 7 or 8 years now, and we've looked at our experience over the last several years now. We have a very good control rate. Control rates are nearly the same either way, but it takes a longer time for you to get your swallowing back, and then there's a lesser chance you can avoid chemotherapy. I mean, the chance, if you looked at the national trials also that were done on these, almost they could save only about 5 or 10% of patients from radiation, and about 15 to 20% of patients from chemotherapy. So ultimately, even if you have surgery,
So we're gonna have chemo.
very likely 2 out of 3 chances you're going to require
Chemo.
chemo to follow.
Okay.
So that's where things are. So you can look at what are the odds of you not needing the chemo. You can decide on that, or
Yeah. All right.
Well, this
Yeah.
pain, he's been having this pain that's in his neck. It kind of keeps him up at night. Will that kind of get better?
it should start getting better. That's the reason I was asking, is because most of the time you have the pain is because of the trapping of some of the nerves which supply your ear also.
Yeah, it feels
So,
like
yeah. So and
like
you also have you have a lymph node that's not very hot on the PET scan, but just does look involved on your CAT scan.
Okay.
like it's like swimmer's ear. And
That's
like
probably
your
that's
ear.
referred. That should start getting better within the first 2 weeks of treatment,
Okay.
and that will be an indirect indication of response. Because during treatments, we'll be seeing you every week. We'll be looking inside your throat. We'll give you mouthwashes to do, and take care of all those issues that can happen going forward.
Okay. Yeah, he told us that the main spot was the tonsil, but there was little activity around the tumor.
Right.
He said it looks like it could be fluid inside of it.
It looks like a lot of times these tumors grow in the lymph nodes, and then the lymph nodes, they start dying out, and then the body doesn't absorb the dead cells, so they start accumulating and they start becoming like a balloon.
Oh, okay.
Inside the neck, and that's what this looks like.
Well,
And
see-
because a lot of cells are dying out, there's tumor cells along the wall, but there's not much tumor cells within the substance of the lymph node. That's why the PET doesn't show it very good. But if they went in and they cut your neck out and took out the lymph nodes in your neck, very likely they're going to find tumors stuck along the wall of the lymph node.
Okay. Yeah, he was, well, it was just like, from what I heard, cancer, a tumor takes a long time to grow. Well, I mean, my neck just swelled up overnight.
yeah.
Like,
We'll get things rolling for you.
It was really.
like it was like way out here.
It can sometimes fluctuate because these are in the lymph nodes. These can get infected, especially now with you having your teeth out. There's been an operation, so you might swell up a bit and then it'll go down.
Okay. Yeah, he gave me some antibiotics to take right now. Is those okay to be taken?
Yeah, you're fine. You're good with it.
Okay. All right, well.
So we'll see you back next week and we'll take it from there.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We're
Right.
gonna get the
Okay.
beat on it.
Right, yeah, sure. I mean, the prognosis looks pretty good. The road's going to be rough. We'll get your labs done today. We'll get the social services involved. Then you'll come back later in the week for a mask making session. We'll be here for almost an hour that day, and then you'll see the chemo doctors. And then the radiation will start within a week after that.
Okay. All right.
And then for you, somebody will have to bring him, take him back.
Oh yeah, I'll be there every appointment.
And we'll try to work with you on whatever your work schedule is. Usually expect 40 minutes coming in, 40 minutes going back, and 30 minutes here in the department.
Okay.
See, I deliver blood, organs, medicine. I mean, just a bunch of different medical stuff. So, I know I can't do that.
Right.
'Cause,
Let me get the social service involved and start with the process, the paperwork, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you,
Just
sir.
wait here.
This could be a rough road.
We're out of here. It's the last appointment. Well, the last one for today. We've got one every day
Every
this
day
week.
Tomorrow, and then Thursday, and then Friday.
We've got them every day.
But should be starting radiation and chemo in maybe 2 weeks.
So, you guys, I know we ain't really. I've been MIA for about 4 weeks now. We've had a lot go on.
Yeah, you
It
can
would've
see
been
I
a
don't have
period
any
of time.
teeth right now.
So, about 4 weeks ago, I guess we should have walked on concrete, huh? So, about 4 weeks ago, Jay was diagnosed with cancer, and I've just had to stop a moment and take care of regular life problems, you know. Just he had to have a big surgery on what day did you have surgery?
The 6th.
Yeah, he had a big surgery on the 6th, so just had to get mentally and physically prepared for that. You know, just taking care of our household, just period. Just, it's a lot to take in when you hear information like that. So that's where we've been. As y'all can see before, inserted some clips of the doctor's appointment so y'all can hear a little bit of what's going on, what kind of cancer he's diagnosed with, what's the plan of what they're gonna do, all that good stuff. So if you guys pray, keep us in your prayers. If you meditate, keep us in your meditation. Just keep us in your positive vibes and thoughts, please. We greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna get this video uploaded ASAP so that I've been having a lot of emails and a lot of you guys commenting under the posting videos. A lot of the emails I have not answered. I want to let you know that I am not ignoring you guys. I love you guys so much. Y'all family. So I want to let y'all know that I'm not ignoring you guys. I just figured I would tell everybody at once instead of making, you know, making 3, 4, 5 different emails. So here it is. And I also was kind of debating on whether we was gonna discuss and talk about it. I didn't know what we were gonna do. Like I said, if I was gonna tell it or we were just gonna kind of just disappear. But I've gained a relationship with you guys, and I felt like it was only right for us to tell you guys, you know. So there we have it. It's just a lot going on. So we're gonna take you guys. Jay decided that we're gonna take y'all on this journey with us, with him. Rather, this is his journey. On this journey with us, and like he said, it may help somebody else out going through these times. So if there's any questions or anything that you guys have, just leave it, of course, in the comment section below. I think that the doctor's appointment, and the doctor's appointment that we were at today, that is the radiation doctor. Y'all see the next one too. We'll be going to see the chemo doctor, and we're going to take y'all along with us for that too. But I love you guys. This video's already been long enough. I'm not going to make it a lot longer. I love y'all. See y'all in the next video or the next clip. Bye. Gonna tell him bye?
Bye.
Hey y'all, we are here at his appointment to have his mask made for his radiation. Hey baby. And we know I'm not a patient, but y'all, they got this chair that is so dope. Oh my god, I love it. Okay, let me show y'all the details of the chair. Don't look at them hairy legs. Fantastic. Alright, I'm gonna enjoy my massage while I have a chance. I'll see y'all in a minute. It's embarrassing.